welcome to this defense.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Professor William Mukuru. I'm from the Department of Economics, Accounting and Finance, and also as Professor Samuel.
Morning. My name is Professor Buisa. I teach entrepreneurship in ETMM. Dr. Susan is my boss.
My name is Dr. from the Department of Entrepreneurship. Good morning. I'm standing in for Professor Eza. She's the chairperson. I'm the coordinator of graduates in ETLM department. So I'll be chairing this session today. We were having your proposal presentation. So the proposal presentation is just about improving your document from what you've been doing with your supervisor. It's like we are just increasing the eyes and increasing the thinking. So when we tell you that you have this, you need to improve here and there, we are not saying that you've not done a good job. We just want to add value to your document. So take it positively and register all the
assessment. I will be presenting the effect of central bank regulatory requirements on financial performance of microfinance institutions in Kenya. And my supervisors are Dr. Agnes Njeru and Dr. Florence Member. Now, my problem statement, microfinance has been considered as one avenue of reducing poverty in developing countries like in Kenya, and it has been used by government, or government has been promoting that in terms of policy development to reach to those who are secluded financially and also those who are secluded socially, and to reach to more gender, that is women, who are not able to bank in the commercial banks. And therefore, this has been an area of interest of recent because there has been great expansion of microfinance in Africa, more specifically in Kenya, and different researchers have different views in terms of the effects of regulation on microfinance and their performance, financial performance. And therefore, different others have had different findings on the same. And therefore, we have, like Carl says, that those who are not non-profit are more financially sustainable compared to profit MFIs because of commercialization. Others have found that regulations have different impact or insignificant impact, and therefore there has been a contradiction between various researchers. And therefore my study tries to come and establish actually what really, whether regulations have impact, and find a comparative effect of the following factors which are provided by the requirements, such as corporate finance, risk management, liquidity management, and capital requirement on financial performance in microfinance in Kenya. My objectives, general objective is to determine the effects of central bank requirements on financial performance of microfinance institutions. The specifics to determine the effect of credit risk management requirement on financial performance of microfinance institutions in Kenya. To establish the effect of corporate governance requirement on financial performance of microfinance in Kenya. Ascertain the effect of liquidity management requirement on financial performance of microfinance in Kenya. Examine the effect of capital requirement on financial performance of microfinance institutions in Kenya. And 5, determine the moderating effect of potential regulatory on financial performance on microfinance institutions in Kenya. Then determine the moderating effect of firm size the financial performance of microfinance institutions in Kenya. These are my hypotheses. Another hypothesis is credit management has no significant effect on financial performance. Number 2, there is no significant effect between corporate governance and financial performance of microfinance institutions. 3, liquidity management has no significant effect on financial performance of microfinance, and capital requirement has no significant effect on performance of microfinance, and prudential regression has no moderating effect on performance of microfinance, and finally, fund size has no moderating effect on financial performance of microfinance institutions in Kenya. Positive framework is a graphical explanation of construct of variables that studies the relationship between various variables in this study, which are as follows. We have credit risk management, which is being measured by asset quality ratio and portfolio at risk within 30 days ratio. Then we have corporate governance, which is measured by efficiency of management efficiency ratio and operational ratio. We have liquidity, which is measured by MFI liquidity ratio and common current ratio. Then capital requirement, we'll have capital adequacy ratio and portfolio asset ratio. The monitoring effect variables will be fund size, which is the total asset, which will be the log of total assets of each microfinance. Then we have prudential regulation as value of regulated or not regulated. Financial performance will be measured by return on assets and return on equity. Sampling technique that will be employed is stratification and purposive sampling. The reason why I'm employing stratification is because microfinance are classified into deposit taking and credit only, while purposive I'll be targeting various directors randomly. And then data collection instrument I will use both secondary financial statements and the questionnaires, which will be self-administered, and the questionnaire will be structured. The pilot test will take 10% of the population as the test sample. I will use Coach Bar alpha to test variability, and I will take 0.7 as the most, as the 0.7 as acceptable. Validity, I will test validity by testing the questionnaires. And data analysis and presentation, I will use panel data. I will use multiple linear regression model, which will involve panel multiple linear regression to test my variables in the study. I will use Pearson correlation to establish the strength of my linear relationship between independent variable, and statistics will be used to determine the relative importance of the independent variables in influencing financial performance. Also, I will employ fact analysis, which will be used to analyze the qualitative element of my data that I collect, which is in terms of qualitative data that I'll use. Now, I'll use the following model, which has been used by Norway 2015, Norway 2011, One 2015, and Norway 2012. The data will be a panel data, multiple regression, which is as follows, as well as the moderating variables are as follows. Also, the moderating effect model of farm size is as follows. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Daniel, for your presentation. I think the abstract is misplaced, so you need to move it to come before chapter 1, just before chapter 1. And it is also lacking some important information in terms of sampling, sample design, and a few others. So you need to update that thing using the formats that is available at the school. Then your conceptual framework against the independent, specific objectives. I was a bit, okay, what informed your variables? The picking of the 4 variables, because I thought there are other maybe regulatory requirements. So why did you decide to just choose the 4 that is provided? Is there any justification? Or there are no any other requirements that may affect the performance? Yeah, so that justification has to be done because I didn't see the link between your background and how these variables were picked probably. So you need to try to bring out that. And then your moderator variable, I have 2 elements, the sperm size and the prudential regulations. I don't know, I am finding like that would be a bit too complex probably. You may decide to use either one of them. And then your financial performance measures. This, yeah, you have been referred by Dr. Lizulwa to your tool. Was this just perceived measure or was it objective measure? Because I didn't see the objective. You may, the objective figure sometimes may be a bit difficult to get. People may not want to share their confidential data with you, and the provision of the perceived measure may capture a few things, but you need to enhance the item so that you are able to get the right information to ensure that you have feedback relating to the performance of these MFIs. And then in your scope, you also need to justify why they sum the MFI. And then your research gap again is too scanty. So you need to bring it out clearly, and there is an assertion that there is no study that has been done under the research gap. I don't think you have exhausted looking at all the research material. So you need to avoid such kind of statements. And also, as you have said, the last statement in the first paragraph of the research gap is that this researcher recommended further research on other financial sector institutions. Was that just the reason why you are conducting the research, the current research? That it is based on the recommendation of other researchers, or was there any pressing need for you to undertake this current research? So your research gap need to come out clearly. Yeah.
Daniel, you were asked, I think Grace mentioned that before and after, because of the move effect. She mentioned that. That is very, I think you have to look at it very carefully, because the effect also always means that. Then I think she also mentioned about comparative. Which type are you going to put comparative? That is, immediately you use effect. The methodology is pure experimental or quasi-experimental, or now the comparative that it is there. So it looks like you need to handle it. And I want now to ask, in your own opinion, can the same regulation have different effects in different countries? Is it possible? Banking regulations in Kenya, it's the same regulation. Interest cap, for example. Could it have different effects in different countries? It can have. Thank you. Then your over-concentration on cow. Who was doing this in China? The regulations in China and even the political setup in China. And it is the person that you have really said, Carl did this, Carl did this, Carl did this. And that is an environment that might be completely different. And therefore the same regulation here might have the different effects here. So overemphasizing that might be tricky. You look at it again. However, you have quoted our own people here, 2 people. And one did the effect, and they have told us. And discovered that with this Wanjiru. Wanjiru does it and found that financial regulations have effects. And they affect negatively profitability. So Wanjiru always found that for us. You have quoted him or her. Then you come and again Mukiri, who also conducted. And then this one says it is inadequate. So two Kenyans studying the same environment, one course not, one course. Would that be where you should focus on? Why are you going to repeat what they did? Why don't you say why did they differ? Maybe different methodologies, different whatever, isn't it? So you're going to redo what our Kenyans have done and have already given us results. So I think that maybe you look at it like number 3, in your own opinion, apart from regulations, what would also affect performance of MFIs? Apart from central bank regulations, is there anything else that would affect performance? Yes, there are many other things, but there isn't it. There are those things. Now, either those are the ones you are going to say, put them in a box and then monitoring, then we hold them constant because they affect whatever, isn't it? Next, now probably now to support what Joyce was talking about, maybe comparative. Does Central Bank of Kenya have a different set of regulations for MFIs and a different set of regulations for mainstream banks? Yes. So you are saying that those that you have picked here are known only for MFIs. Like the one, the effect of credit risk management, that is a regulation only for MFIs. Is it also for equity bank?
No, it applies to microfinance
only.
Yes.
This one established if a corporate governance requirement. Only MFIs?
Yes, these are.
No, I beg to differ. I sit on the board of Kenya Institute of Bankers. I'm a board, Kenya Institute of Bankers. Corporate governance goes across any. It's not only on MFIs. And that's where now, Joyce is a proposal comes in. You would say, how, compared to MFIs compared to mainstream, how do these regulations? And then later on, then you propose, therefore, probably because of the status of MFIs, we need a special set of regulations for MFIs and a special rate. Because what you have done here, we know, then right now, let's say, all, even non-financial insurance companies and all that, they must, there's a code of conduct for all the banking and financial sector. So look at it again. If you are going to say, you pick out only the regulations that apply to MFIs and then see how. And when were these regulations put in place? And therefore, how have they? Okay? And I wondered what the cap interest rate you did touch it. The topical thing now. Perhaps you would have taken that since, because they were introduced in 2010, the cap, interest caps. I wish you took that and say that the effect that it has now had. Because people are retrenching. Standard Bank is little because of the caps. That will be more topical, more valuable. But we are going to regulations that are there, what they are 20,000. That's the truth. But I don't give you a little. So what I'm saying that look at it again in terms of effect, take into consideration, I think even what is now how many CBK regulations are there affecting MFIs? And that's what Dr. Mukia was actually advocating. How many do you think, how many regulations are there? Several, isn't it? Then why did you pick? That was what Dr. Mukia was saying. If there are several, why did we now come and identify this or justify that? That's the simple message you are being given. Because there are many, I know there are many, but you have decided that you're going to start only these. Please justify so that you can. And perhaps for now, I guess not.